Thank you all. Wow, everything quiet down really quickly. Nice to see you. I'm Tom Hiles, Vice Chancellor for University Advancement, and it's my pleasure to be here today on a cool but sunny day. I reminded our Chancellor that it was only 19 degrees in Buffalo today, Garnet, so it's all good. We're really glad to have all of you here, and it's always a good day at Mizzou, but particularly on days like this when we're announcing some very exciting news. So we're here to celebrate a very generous gift to the University of Missouri and the School of Medicine in particular. And with me on stage, in the order they will speak, includes Dr. Garnett Stokes, Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs and Provost, Dr. Patrick Delfontaine, the UE and Sarah D. Stevenson Dean of the MU School of Medicine, Dr. Jim Stannard, Chair of the Department of Orthopedic Surgery and Medical Director of MOI, and Mr. Steve Swartz, representing the Wyss Foundation, Medical Foundation and its founder, Hans-Jörg Wyss. We also have a number of university leaders with us today, including members of the Chancellor's staff, deans, and directors. So thank you all for joining us. I just want to briefly say before I call Garnett up for our big announcement that the MU Our Time to Lead campaign launched in October of 2015, which with a focus on 3 priorities. Endowment, which you're going to hear about in a minute. Our endowment is very important to us in terms of our ability to recruit quality faculty and students. Signature centers and institutes, to have 5 to 10 signature centers with endowments of $10 million or more, like the Kinder Institute, the Reynolds Journalism Institute, and finally a campus renaissance program around capital projects and building world-class teaching and research space. So all of those things are represented in some way today, and including at this great facility. The campaign has an overall campaign goal of $1.3 billion, and we've raised over $950 million to date. So with that background, I'm very pleased to welcome for our announcement today, Dr. Garnett Stokes.
Thank you, Tom. I want to look around and say thank you to all of you for being here today. I am excited to announce this remarkable gift. Philanthropy has been a part of MU since its founding in 1839. And private support continues to be important as Mizzou seeks to improve the quality of life for the state of Missouri and actually all around the world. At the MU School of Medicine, our faculty are devoted to caring for patients and advancing medicine by discovering better treatments and training the next generation of physicians. Orthopedic surgery is an area of strength for the School of Medicine, and Dr. James Stannard in particular has received numerous awards for his work in the field of orthopedic surgery and his research on skeletal trauma and complex knee injuries. Dr. Stannard's leadership and expertise have been recognized not just by his peers and patients, but by supporters throughout the world. Hans-Jörg Wyss is one such supporter. A native of Switzerland who now lives in Wyoming, Mr. Wyss enjoyed a successful career in medical research and design before turning his attention to philanthropy. Through the Wyss Medical Foundation, Mr. Wyss's charitable giving focuses on innovation and compassion, 2 characteristics that are personified by Dr. Stannard and the entire staff of the Missouri Orthopedics Institute. Today, it is my honor and my pleasure to announce that the Wyss Medical Foundation has committed $2 million to the University of Missouri to create the Hans-Jörg Wyss Distinguished Chair in Orthopedic Surgery. As the recipient of the Wyss Distinguished Chair in Orthopedic Surgery, Dr. Stannard will be able to devote more time and energy to shaping the future of orthopedics through his work at the Missouri Orthopedic Institute. Dean Delafontaine and Dr. Stannard will speak more about this transformational gift. But first, Please allow me on behalf of Mizzou's students, alumni, and friends to once again offer my sincere thanks to the Wyss Medical Foundation for what is truly an extraordinary gift. So here to share more about the impact of this gift is School of Medicine Dean Patrick Delafontaine.
Thank you, Provost Stokes. I'm so pleased to be here today to celebrate the establishment of the Hans-Jörg Wyss Distinguished Chair in Orthopedic Surgery. I want to take the opportunity to publicly thank Dr. James Stannard for his role in securing this gift. As Dr. Stannard continues building a world-class orthopedic surgery department, he maintains a strong focus on faculty endowments. These endowments are essential to establishing continuous funding for recruitment and retention of outstanding faculty. In fact, Jim and his wife personally have made a generous gift to establish the James P. Stannard, MD, and Carolyn Stannard Distinguished Professorship in Orthopedic Surgery, currently held by Dr. Mauricio Kafuri, MD, PhD, and we're very grateful for their gift. The department has also added 3 additional endowed faculty positions under Dr. Stannard's leadership. The first is the J. Vernon Luck Senior Distinguished Professorship in Orthopedic Surgery, held by Dr. Ted Choma. The second is the Gregory L. and Ann L. Hummel Distinguished Professorship in Orthopedic Surgery. During the past year, the department also received funding to elevate the William C. and Catherine E. Allen Distinguished Professorship in Orthopedic Surgery to the level of a chair. And this chair is held by Dr. Jimmy Cook, who many of you know, I think all of you know, and who's also the director of the Thompson Laboratory for Regenerative Orthopedics here at the Missouri Orthopedic Institute. Now let me say a few words about Dr. Jim Stannard. Dr. Stannard joined MU in 2009 as the chair of the Department of Orthopedic Surgery. During his tenure, the department has thrived in all its mission areas, including patient care, education, and research. Among his numerous accomplishments, he oversaw the opening of the Missouri Orthopedic Institute in 2010 and led the $40 million expansion that added 22 inpatient beds and 5 new operating rooms earlier this year. Dr. Stannard has recruited world-class orthopedic specialists in sports medicine, spine, hand, oncology, and adult reconstruction. Dr. Stannard started an orthopedic trauma service with his collaborators in 2011 down in Springfield in partnership with Cox Health. I think many of you know the importance of the Springfield community for our medical school and university. Our medical school now has a campus down there, and in 2 years, we'll have a total of 64 third-year and fourth-year medical students. So that is a campus that is growing, and I think Jim's contribution by establishing a faculty program down there really is consistent with our long-term vision to work more closely with the Springfield community. Jim also was one of the leaders in establishing the Thompson Laboratory for Regenerative Orthopedics, the world's only comprehensive research center located within a freestanding orthopedic hospital. And of course, Dr. Stannard's been really a pioneering leader in establishing the Mizzou BioJoint Center with his collaborators, including, of course, Dr. Jimmy Cook. So in closing, I want to recognize Dr. Stannard for his outstanding contributions to the School of Medicine. He embodies the physician scholar dedicated to achieving our mission of teaching, healing, and discovery. Please join me in congratulating our new Hans-Jörg Wyss Distinguished Chair in Orthopedic Surgery, Dr. James Stannard.
Thanks very much, Dean Delafontaine and Provost Stokes. It's very, very kind words that I very much appreciate. It's not often that you get to come and announce what is a transformative gift to the department, and that's very special. But it's a gift that goes back to a dear friend of 15 or 20 years at least, who's here representing the Wyss Foundation, Steve Schwartz, and quite frankly, to my infancy of orthopedics. Mr. Wyss was one of the real pioneers. There were 4 Swiss surgeons and 3 Swiss manufacturers that got together and formed this thing called the AO, which stands for Arbeitsgemeinschaft für Osteosynthese Fragen, which I probably hacked up the pronunciation, and Patrick probably could have done it much better. But that's what AO stands for, which means the Association for the Study of Internal Fixation, fixing fractures. And my first foray into that was a course that I literally attended as a captain in the U.S. Army my first year out of residency. It then turned into my fellowship, which was in Switzerland under the tutelage of Thomas Rudy, who was a phenomenal surgeon, and it's grown from there. So being able to announce a transformative gift is amazing. Being able to receive a transformative gift from friends is that much more amazing. Mr. Wyss is an amazing person who had this vision along with this really group, I view it, of 7 people that has done more, in my opinion, for forwarding the care of orthopedic patients, particularly trauma patients, but also spine and a bunch of other areas, than any group I could think of in the history of orthopedic surgery. He's very wise, as you might figure out, having formed a company from the ground up that he sold for $20 billion. So he did pretty well on the business side as well. But he doesn't, I would say, and Steve, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, he doesn't give gifts, he makes investments. And as we went through this process, Mr. Wyss was very particular what he was looking for. And what's really special about this investment is it frees me up to spend time doing the really fun stuff, doing research, doing leadership, both here but also on a national and international stage. And interestingly, after the commitment for the gift had already been made, the first such leadership opportunity came up, and it has me back working with AO North America, so the North American end of that, as their president, and that was totally unforeseen at the time, and so it allows me to work even much more closely with Steve, who's here representing the Wyss Foundation and is the executive director of AO North America. So I just want to say very humbly to you, and I know Mr. Wyss is in South Africa, or he actually would have joined us, and if you could pass on very much just how grateful I am. I think that this kind of thing is what really can help distinguish and separate out a department from being pretty good to really drawing the kind of people that we want to draw here to do the mission. But pass on my thanks, and my thanks to you because you played an enormous role in this. It's transformative and it's humbling, and I really appreciate it. So with that, I'll turn it over to Steve Schwartz.
Well, good morning, everyone. To the honored leadership of University of Missouri Medical Center and Medical School and the University of Missouri in general. How often do you hear it's a pleasure to be here? I can tell you it really is a pleasure to be here. Jim's relationship with me goes way back, and any place that is lucky enough to have Dr. Stannard as its chairman is that much better off. And I will tell you that you judge a family by the family members, you judge people by the other people they keep. And if our gift to Dr. Stannard and the University of Missouri it probably is totally indicative of who we are as a medical foundation. You want to know what type of people we give to, look at Dr. Stannard. That also tells me that you want to look at what kind of University of Missouri is, look at Dr. Stannard. And he's inspired me from almost the moment that I met him. I hope he inspires you. He's inspired our medical foundation. Hans-Jörg Wyss, who sends his greetings, and as Dr. Stannard said, unfortunately has had a commitment on the other side of the world, sends his greetings and is aware of the University of Missouri as much as you would think, with all the other things on his plate. Very much aware of the role that Dr. Stannard is playing here and the leadership that he's giving. But Hans-Jörg Wyss and our foundation support or give to people. And we have seen, by giving to Dr. Stannard, we've gotten this wonderful insight into this terrific institution. And I would say to you that it is truly my pleasure and my honor to be able to see the good works that not only that Dr. Stannard is doing, but that all of you are doing. And the gracious hospitality, the professionalism, the leadership speak volumes to us and make us feel very confident that our gift, investment, see, for an investment, Wyss uses the word investment, the rest of us call it gift. Everything, he's a very shrewd guy, but everything for us, this whole milieu, I will share this feeling with him on a personal basis when I see him next month. And all I can tell you is thank you very much to you as an institution for giving Dr. Stannard the opportunity to flourish and show his true leadership and inspiration to those of us in orthopedics as well as in academic medicine. I wish you well. Go Tigers. It's a big weekend. Pick a sport, any sport, but we're hoping that we go 2 for 2 this weekend. I'll be there cheering along with everybody else. I've got my colors on. I'll be hopefully cheering not only your teams and your school, but also your program and Dr. Stannard's and your success. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you for that kind remarks. I just want to close with a couple of comments, which are my colleague Yvonne Miller is back in the back of the room, and I wanted to acknowledge her great work on the advancement side and in working with the foundation and Dr. Stannard. So thank you, Yvonne. And I also, yeah, absolutely. And others, there's others team members, but Yvonne was really taking the lead on that. And I also want to just say, as Jim and Steve were both talking about the investment piece of this, that as I've had a chance to work on many gifts over a 32-year career, but endowment is a special thing in the sense that 10 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, many people, you and Mr. Wyss, will never meet, never have a chance to understand that gift is still going to be here helping provide leadership, helping other faculty, and making a big difference in the future. So in particular, that's very inspiring to me, and we are so grateful for that long-term vision. So with that, I want to say that we will have opportunities for media questions over on the right side. We're not going to do that during this part of the presentation. And I just want to close by thanking all of you for being here for the special announcement. And please join me in thanking the Wyss Foundation and Steve one more time. Thank you very much.